the Hydrogen Man. I'm actually just making my morning smoothie today, but I'm going to be using my vacuum blender today, so I thought I'd review it for you guys today. Now, the question is, and I got to step away from the microphone periodically, so you may not be able to hear me. Why would you do a vacuum blender? I mean, that's really the question that a lot of people oftentimes have. A lot of people probably don't even know about it. I was actually super skeptical when I first learned about it, and the data looks really good. And it's not just data. On this case, you can literally taste the difference, see the difference. And basically what it really is doing is, for me, this video is going to be showing you guys how to absorb nutrients like just literally like crazy, like in a way that any doctor would probably tell you is just not possible. And I've actually had this conversation with doctors before, because when they see my blood work, they're like, how are you achieving this? And so this vacuum blender, what it does is it pulls out the oxygen out of the blender so that you will not oxidize the nutrients, and it actually just really helps with maintaining more nutrition, more phytonutrients, more all the special properties that are really found in these foods that I'm going to be putting in. And there's a lot of unique properties in the foods I'm going to be putting in today. So, and like I said, I just do this every morning. It's nothing, particularly earth-shattering for me, but for a lot of people it is, because they don't do it, and it makes such a massive difference for your health. So the first thing I'm going to put in this smoothie is, you got to get nutrients. I like to get my nutrients from food. So I use this product because it's all food and super clean. That's my biggest thing. I don't like to see pesticides. I've seen the lab tests. And that's Power Shake. It's from a website called iShopPerium.com. If you do want a discount and you want to support the channel, it's free to use it obviously, but you get a discount, and that code is Uprising144K. Don't have to do it if you don't want to, it's fine, but this is what I use. And I've seen lab tests on them. It's the first lab test I've seen with literally no pesticides. Everything usually has a little bit of some sort. So that's impressive right there. So the next ingredient I'm going to put in here, and this smoothie for me is my multivitamin, by the way, and it's extremely impressed me and a whole lot of other people, including my own doctor. When they saw my blood work, they just couldn't understand it. I was actually doing the blood work to make sure that it was working. This whole thing works way better than I would have expected. The next thing I'm putting in is turmeric. Anti-inflammatory, anti-cancerous, makes it taste good. It's organic. Everything I'm putting in here is organic. So that's the other thing. Always trying to minimize the amount of pesticides. Always trying to minimize the exposure, because the way it affects our kidneys, the way it affects our liver. And so this vacuum blender just does something really unique, and you're gonna see it, but it's gonna take a moment, because this is how I make my smoothie every day. And this is live, by the way, so that's why. This is another product. This one actually is not totally necessary. It was a gift from someone. I've been using it. It's got minerals in it. Thanks for all the thumbs up, by the way, guys. Okay, next one, organic cacao. There's a lot of benefits to cacao. One of them has been showing really good improvement in cognitive health. Plus it tastes good. Plus it's rich in minerals and other nutrients. So I really like cacao. And it has natural organic copper in it. And people have really gotten into copper. But very simple ingredients here. All right. Let's keep going. Let's see what's next. Let's go with flax seeds. Let's go with the flax seeds and greens and almonds. And let's go ahead and get this ready to wash. It is a little tricky, I will say, using the vacuum blender. There's a learning curve, and the smoothie ends up being a little smaller. It's one of the things that apparently the company might be making a bigger blender. Just a bigger container is all. And what's cool is they actually have an attachment for the Vitamix, which is what I'm using. They have their own blender, which I've used it for too, and it's actually pretty good. But I don't want to have two blenders out, so I just use the one for the Vitamix. Okay, so now my rich leafy greens. This is the next one. Now, if I could go, I guess I should just go down the list. I got nothing but time here while I'm making this. All the benefits of this one simple smoothie. It's kind of unreal. We have anti-cancerous, anti-parasitic ingredients, lots of minerals, lots of nutrients, lots of protein, and lots of fiber. The reason the fiber is absolutely crucial is because you're not going to absorb your nutrients properly, in my opinion. Now, I should say, before I go on, I'm not going to give you guys any medical advice today. I'm certainly not making any medical claims today. Everything is just my opinion, guys, and should not be construed as claims for or against any product or products. All right, so with that being said, yeah, you know, it's all about absorbing nutrients. A lot of people don't understand that even if you take a multivitamin, which is great, it's fine, take your multivitamin if, you know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you have to be able to absorb the nutrients. And I think that is one of the biggest problems that people have. In fact, that was literally exactly why. In fact, actually, can you guys, somebody make a comment, let me know if you can hear me. I've been having trouble with the microphone lately, and hopefully you guys can hear me, but if not, I guess it's just a video where you just watch. Okay, let's go with this amount of greens today, because I don't think in this blender I can fit as much as I normally would like to. So let's go with smaller amounts today, which is fine if I'm absorbing more nutrients. It's okay if I go with less food. And you know, I do the blood work actually I do it for you guys so that you don't have to spend the money to make sure these things are working. Though it does get expensive after a while. Okay. Yeah, the vacuum blender is exciting. I mean, who came up with something like this? But it really makes such a difference. And the flavor is so different. And overcoming any nutritional deficiency, in my opinion, is very important. I say my opinion, but if you were to look at the scientific studies, what deficiencies lead to what diseases. You know, I just saw today, I'm always looking at the newest and latest data. There was some sad information about certain things found in actually pharmaceuticals and chicken and pork that appear to be increasing the odds pretty dramatically for children to be born with brain tumors. Jenna says, "Hi Greg, you are amazing. Thanks for sharing." Oh, thank you. Are you able to hear me, Janet, by the way? I wanted to make sure that you guys can hear me. Yeah, they found these probable carcinogens in literally just half a breast of chicken, but I believe it was also in metformin or some other blood pressure medication. I can't remember. I posted it on my Twitter account, and that's just so sad because I've seen these stories and people who either get cancer or their child does, and they're always wondering, how did this happen? I've wondered that too, and it really appears to be, well, contaminants. You know, contaminants. That's why I also show people either how to clean their water. That's a big one for me, in my opinion. And I also show people how to use the hydrogen, which right now I am making it behind me. You can't see it, but I'm making the hydrogen tube because of the way that it appears to be so protective in a lot of scientific studies. Watch my video number 8 and see the power of how much it protects the body and the cells, unlike anything I've ever seen. It's so crazy. All right. Very, very next level. And yet most of us don't know about it. Or most people out there. It'll take a while before people really know. Okay, let's see here. All right. And thank you, by the way, for the kind words, Janet. That's very sweet. Oh, yes, you can hear me. Great. Okay. Very good. Yeah, you know, there's nothing worse than health issues. I mean, it causes so much suffering for everybody, both emotionally, financially, physically. Okay, what's next? I'm gonna put some blueberries in here. Let's go. Good for the vascular system, anti-cancerous also. That's about right, I guess. Now, I'm actually gonna put some hydrogen water in here. In fact, let's see. Let's put a little hydrogen water in here. You know what's really wild about hydrogen water is, if I can put it in here, it'll soak into this food, basically. I saw it in a kind of a strange study, but it was really impressive how it was enhancing the properties of food. I mean, unbelievable, really. Okay, now chia seeds, hydrogen chia seeds. I soak them in water. They have really good protein, good omegas, good minerals. I'm telling you another thing you guys need: a lot of fiber and a lot of minerals, hydration, and all your nutrients. I mean, the keys to health are actually not super complicated, in my opinion, and the science is there to support it. So we just have to find a simple way of achieving our goals, and that's ultimately what I've done here. By the way, for those who didn't see it, I drank the hydrogen water before I turned on the camera, so I always hydrate with super clean hydrogen water. These are almonds. Before I have my smoothie. These are the flax seeds, good fats, good oils. And I have to have my nuts, my seeds, things that have fats and oils, the chia seeds, you need those. All right. Be right back. All right. What is next? You know what? I think I'm going to throw walnuts. You should see the research on walnuts. It's pretty amazing for cancer. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the rest of what I have as far as the walnuts in there. Boy, how am I going to fit the rest of my ingredients in here? That's the only thing. I love this vacuum blender, but it's a little small. Let's see. Well, I say small, but what I really mean is small for somebody like me. Small for someone like me who puts a lot of stuff in here. Okay, next one. This is actually a super magical ingredient, amazing benefits, and that's ginger. So ginger appears to be anti-parasitic, anti-cancerous, really interesting properties. I think I talked about it last time on a different video. We actually looked up everything, and it had even more stuff than I had anticipated, but I just knew that it was good. It's hard to find organic ginger at an affordable price, which is why I used to not use it, and then I found it somewhere where they sell it actually really inexpensively. I don't know how they do that, but good organic ginger, anything that's like a root vegetable or herbs, in my opinion, you really want them to be as organic as possible. Not to mention, see, this is all about nutrients. And look, why are nutrients important? I'll get into that in a second, but I think we all know. But what they have found in research when they test organic versus not organic foods, Organic has higher levels of antioxidants, higher levels of nutrients, and of course less pesticides. And I'm just grateful that there's farmers out there that grow it. Do you agree that nuts should be soaked before use? Yes, it's better. So I do that often, not every single time, it just depends. But yes, absolutely better. Nuts are kind of hard to a little hard on the digestive system. They're hard to digest. And I believe, and this is based on some data, but not exactly what I would like to show, but ultimately it makes sense, which is if you soak them in super clean water, that would be the first thing. I hope you guys understand what is in water and how nasty it is. And of course I use a carbon distiller. It's the only way to eliminate everything out of your water, meaning all the bacteria and viruses and parasites and pharmaceuticals. And I mean, there's just no other way that does it to the level of a carbon distiller. And let's see here. Beets are so good for you. I love the rich color. It stains everything. But yes, soaking them is absolutely of great benefit. I also, anything that's dried, like a lot of times I put raisins. I like to soak the raisins too. Because the other key to health and absorbing of nutrients is hydration. So if you notice, almost all the food I eat throughout my day has water in it. So like this beet is full of water. Those greens are full of water. The ginger is full of water. The blueberries are full of water. Food is full of water, minerals, fiber, nutrients, phytonutrients, antioxidants. I mean, there's a reason that they're magical, and when you see the research on them, they're unbelievable. So the difficulty is how to get these nutrients in your system. And this is why I make this smoothie, because there's no way I'm gonna sit down and eat all this stuff. I'm just not gonna do it. And I'm gonna show you a few interesting tricks towards the end of this to actually get literally every nutrient you need. But there's a few magical things I do at the end. So I'm gonna show you here in a second. As soon as I'm done with this smoothie here. Now we're doing celery. There was a really big kick on celery for a while there. People were going crazy about the celery. And I love it. I love the minerals, the flavor. I'm trying to really wash off any residue of any pesticides. There was a research study where if you rub them with your hands, which is what I'm doing, and with water, it showed that it would minimize almost 80% of any pesticides on it would come off just with that technique. It was like high 70, like 77, 78%, something along those lines. And so I always want to wash my produce as good as I can. And then of course I try to get all the water off of it because I know what's in the water. I got the lab reports, and well, it's darn right scary. I mean, really, that's why you got to protect your body. And you protect your body by having having no nutritional deficiencies, having all the nutrients that the body needs. And then hydrogen is what really takes it to another level. And I'm gonna make a hydrogen smoothie today with the hydrogen vacuum smoothie. So that's what this is gonna end up being. And we're almost there. Okay, next one. Hold on 1 second. All right. Next nutrient, carrots. Carrots, again, highly nutritious. Let's see here. Super affordable too. That's another thing. I try to make these smoothies as affordable as I can, because otherwise people will not keep up with it, you know. So let's go ahead and, again, wash them. You can feel it with your hands, like if they're clean. If they feel a little slimy or something, you know, just really, really wash them good. But carrots are absolutely magical. They have, I believe, anti-parasitic also properties. If you've noticed, I'm really big on, I just like cleanliness. That's why, like, if you knew what was in water, you would not want to put it in your mouth. You know, I'm a little bit of a quote unquote germaphobe. You know, I like things really clean. I don't want to put weird stuff in my mouth. I don't want to put weird stuff in my body. And that's why I like to clean my water to the highest degree. Of course, I want to wash up my produce as much as possible, but the fiber really helps sweep the GI system, helps keep the body cleaner. I really like to lower my parasitic count, which almost everything I do, I literally live probably a lifestyle that is kind of unusual, what I would call a very, very anti-parasitic lifestyle. The hydrogen water appears, I found this in a study that they were doing on the liver, literally appears to make the parasite numbers in the body go down quite a bit. That was impressive. And then most of these ingredients are anti-parasitic, and I try to avoid eating things that are high risk of having, you know, parasites and things of that nature. I have completely eliminated pork out of my life. The research on pig and pork is just kind of unbelievable. When I say unbelievable, I mean really, truly unbelievable. I think there's a reason that the ancient scriptures would say that we shouldn't eat pork. And somehow somebody along the line knew that. And it is darn right extremely gross, even though it tastes amazing. It's not like I've never eaten pork in my entire life, but ever since I did my, I did some pretty extensive cleansing. As you guys probably know, I've had some pretty major medical issues throughout my life, and I had to change my lifestyle. This is why I do it. This is why I do this, by the way. People are like, this guy's crazy. I don't want to live like that. And you know, ordinarily, it would seem like, man, this would be impossible. I don't get to eat the things I want to eat. I won't be satisfied. That's what's so crazy about the body. The body just, I mean, it really adapts. And it's weird. I do get satisfied with a lot of foods. I have to find specific foods, and it's mostly, I mean, yes, fruits, vegetables, but nuts and seeds and beans, you know, starches, oils, and fats, you know, from healthy sources. And, you know, I'm actually very satisfied. In fact, I had dinner yesterday, which was really good. It was curry, you know, with coconut cream and tofu and vegetables and potatoes, and it was really good. And it was funny that although it was good and I had steamed rice and all that, and no matter how good it was, and it was really good yesterday, I still wanted smoothie. It was so crazy. I'm like, I still want a smoothie. And luckily I had some left over in the fridge, and that was like my dessert. All right, we're going banana now. And we're almost done here. You guys are about to see the vacuum blender in action here. Notice that, so I'm pushing everything down in here to the point where some people say, hey, that's not gonna work. This thing's not gonna blend anything. It's just gonna get stuck and destroy your blender and overheat it and break it. Well, I guess we're about to find out. And I'm leaving space at the top. You're about to see why. The few people who are tuned in, there's not that many people in but this is live. People tune in later. But only the live people get to ask questions and see it live. Okay, let's see here. Okay, now let's put a little more. Let's see, where's the hydrogen water up to here? Okay, let me put a tiny bit more. It's actually a tricky part of this. It's the water that's a tricky part. And I'm going to show you some very important ingredients in a second. So the void system, I'm going to rinse it. As long as it's not on, remember. Wet the sides, the rubber sides, so that it can actually be, so you can actually take it off. I'm going to wipe down some of the water here. See, because there's holes in it, which is where it's sucking the air out. This is going to suck the oxygen so you don't oxidize your food while it's blending. This is going to be what helps the nutrients stay in the food. Oxidation is, you know, the issue here. Hydrogen appears to be a natural antioxidant. There's a lot of antioxidants in these fruits and vegetables, and this the food that I put in here. Okay, so let's see here. I put it on like this, and I could push it on, but I don't really need to because I'm gonna turn it on and it's gonna suck itself on, and then you're gonna watch the water level rise, because remember, it's sucking the oxygen. So let's go ahead and just go. There it goes. And if the water gets too close, it's getting really close, you don't want it to suck into the blender. So now I'm at level 16. I'm actually gonna try to change it to a higher level if it's possible. Okay, I guess let me make a setting. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta learn how to use this again. It's been a little while. Okay, here we go. How do I increase it? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, more power. All right, now let's go back to setting. I'm going to 20. Let's see. So it's really sucking everything out of here. And the water's right to here, right where my finger is. So it looks like I could have added a little bit more water, and that's plenty powerful. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm actually gonna turn off. So it's all under vacuum right now, but I'm gonna shut it off because I don't want it trying to vacuum while I'm blending and suck up smoothie into this. Please post a picture of your before and after pictures, thanks. Okay, yeah, I have a lot of those. Okay, so this thing is on there. I mean, look, I mean, it is, you're not getting this thing off of here, by the way. You can't, I mean, this is so powerful. All right, so now let's see if it'll actually blend or if I'm just gonna blow up my blender here because of all the stuff I put in there. All right, the moment of truth, here we go. Easy. It's got Japanese blades. Okay, let's get the magic ingredients, or the last ones. All right. Super crazy, nutritious smoothie. And I'm not kidding you, even my doctor has a hard time believing it, but she saw the blood results and she's like, okay, clearly this is real. All right, here we go. So periodically I like to stop, let some of the heavy particulates drop to the bottom so that they will get blended and crushed. I can see it's actually getting smoother and smoother here. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, now, well, it's time to have breakfast. It says, hey buddy, what's your relationship to counting calories? Do you know how much you eat per day? I don't actually count calories. And the reason I don't count calories is, in my opinion, I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, it's just that it's such a pain in the rear. And as long as I just feel my body and I can just, I'll answer those questions in a second actually. I'm gonna take this off and get breakfast going, and then I'll show you guys the last magic ingredients so that you guys know exactly what I'm doing here to be able to achieve what I'm achieving here as far as health and next level health, by the way. So this little red thing here releases the vacuum pressure. Otherwise, you ain't not getting this thing off. You're just not gonna get this thing off of here. It's on there way too tight. And even if you lift the red thing, you could hear the suction escape, and I still can't get it off. You know, it's just on there so hard. And so what I discovered is I put a little tissue and I open up again the little vent and I put it right under the vent so it doesn't close, because otherwise it just flaps closed. Then I grab a little towel and put it right here on the handle because it's a little sharp. And I put my thumb on here and I lift it and boom, it comes up, no problem. Okay, now, again, this is all about nutrients. It's all about your health. It's all about overcoming nutritional deficiencies. I mean, this really is more magical than even I expected. I did not expect it. Now, granted, I use the hydrogen water which is super, super impressive. So I mean, that does help a ton, but it appears to also help me absorb my nutrients on top of it all, which I already drank the hydrogen water before this. I like to drink it 20 to 30 minutes before a meal, empty stomach. So I get all the properties of the hydrogen and then get the most out of my food. It's all about getting the most out of my food here. All right, so now let's pour this smoothie. Okay, I'm gonna go halfway and I'll show you why. One of the most important nutrients, people can disagree all they want. I'm a data guy. I'm data driven. I don't just go off of opinions. Vitamin D3 with K2 in its ionic form, guys. This is way, way, way too important. You have to have, the name of the product is called the Void Vacuum Blender. So this, you can find it at a website called void-system.com. And if you actually want a discount code, you can use the code uprising144K. And you get a discount and it helps the channel out a little bit. So that's cool. So vitamin D, absolutely, crucially important. I mean, I cannot emphasize enough. Cognition, you know, like for Alzheimer's, your bone health, your immune system, and more, by the way. They're the number one researcher of vitamin D in the world, who actually is a doctor who runs a hospital. The research he's done, it appears to triple the speed of recovery from his patients who undergo surgery. People who have traumatic events happen to them, like a car accident, brain injury, vitamin D levels will drop by half in 50 seconds. So it is such a crucial nutrient. And I'm putting that in the smoothie with all my minerals and fibers because it all works synergistically, in my opinion, okay? This is what's really, really working. Not just for me, for quite a few people that I've worked with throughout the years. Okay. So now I'm gonna leave that there. We got 2 more magical ingredients that just make this thing, I mean, literally it'll make you superhuman, as crazy as that sounds. And that's hemp hearts. Why hemp hearts? Most well-balanced protein in the world. Omega-3s and 6s, super well-balanced. And on top of it, a ton of minerals that are super good for you. From copper to zinc, magnesium, blah, 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 B6, it just goes on and on. So many nutrients in this thing. And it's just nuts. It's just so crazy, these hemp hearts. And they taste really good. So I'm gonna sprinkle them on the top so I can chew them as I have my smoothie. And now I'm gonna show you the last magic ingredients. I'm gonna take you over here, hold on a second. This is one of my secret techniques. I highly suggest not to do with the wrong equipment, because then it can be detrimental in my opinion. And that's, I'm gonna actually inhale hydrogen gas while I drink my smoothie, and then I'll answer your guys' questions. So let's see if I can get the camera right. It doesn't look like there's a lot of people in here today, so probably not a lot of questions. Okay, why do I like to absorb, or wow, thanks for, oh wait, no thumbs up? Wow guys, thank you. Okay, let's see here. What are your questions? Says, oh yeah, my relationship to counting calories. How many calories do I consume? Let me see. Let me count a little bit. I don't actually count. Like I said, I really just listen to my body, but let's see here. Let's see if I can roughly gauge it. And to me, it's more about nutrients than calories, by the way. Okay. I'm gonna guess I probably consume definitely less than 5,000. Oh, somebody gave me a thumbs up, thanks. That was nice. I don't know, probably somewhere between 3,000 to 4,000 probably would be just a guess. But it's hard to say. I drink this smoothie. I mean, I could count how many calories are in this smoothie. I mean, geez. That'd be wild. Let's see. That'd probably be kind of boring, actually. But let's see. Half a cup of hemp hearts. How many calories? How many calories? Well, that would be 166 calories, roughly. Would it? How many calories are in hemp hearts? 3 tablespoons is 166? Oh, I definitely eat more than 3 tablespoons. I'm probably consuming like, I don't know, 300 calories right there. High Country Gold just gave a thumbs up. Thank you. Well, it's nice. You know, I appreciate it, guys. Geez, then I would go into, I mean, I'd have to calculate it. I think that smoothie alone, it depends on what I put in it, but I think when I really load it up, I mean, that thing at least has 2,000 calories, I think, which is supposed to be what some people eat in a whole day, but I think it depends on the type of calories you're getting. I really think that matters, you know. That was me, thumbs up for the vacuum blender testing. Oh yeah, and you know, it tastes different. I forgot to tell you guys this. It really does taste different. It's kind of wild. You can taste, I like when you can like really taste the food and feels really like natural. And it's just so good. And you know, the key to health, and I don't think people really, I guess, realize this, blood flow, hydration, nutrients. YouTube may be hiding the thumbs up. Oh, there it is. Now I got 2 of them. Thanks, guys. And, you know, it surprises me because there's so many health gurus and all this stuff, and I'm just kind of not super impressed a lot of times. You know, I haven't found one person yet that really does it, you know, to at least in my opinion. I'm not trying to be like arrogant about it. I just surprised. I just don't see anybody doing it the right way. One person maybe will talk about water. Some other person will only talk about vegetables or meat or whatever, you know. And you got to show people how to do it in a very easy way. So that was the vacuum blender, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll let you guys go. But I'm enjoying this. This is fulfilling a lot of needs already for me. One, I clean my water to the highest degree, right there, carbon distiller. No water filter will clean your water completely. I sometimes that upsets people. They think they've done enough research on their water and they spend a lot of money on a water filter, and I understand, but it's not cheap. It's not expensive. It's actually pretty cheap to do like a carbon distiller. The website for that is mypurewater.com. And they have like a $600 and something distiller. It's a countertop. And if you use a discount code, it's like $500 and something for an American-made, super high quality device that literally truly cleans your water, though it takes like 3 to 6 hours or something to do 1 gallon. So I store them all up in gallons over here. I got like 6 1-gallon jugs or whatever it is I have. And so you got to clean your water, because if you're trying to avoid getting sick or if you're trying to heal, you may be surprised what's in your water that's actually affecting your health. So that's really where it all begins, is the water. Now, if you can add a magic ingredient to water like hydrogen, that's what I'm doing, right? I mean, I'm inhaling the hydrogen gas there, but here's my hydrogen water machine right here. And I put the hydrogen in the water, which really supercharges it. And when I say supercharge, I mean, I'm talking like, if you look at the data, how many medical issues that they've studied with hydrogen is shown to have a positive effect. I mean, I've seen things from arthritis, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, even glaucoma, macular degeneration, TBI, like from traumatic brain injury. I've seen people with dementia, Alzheimer's, the crazy improvements, the absorption of nutrients, overcoming a lot of gut issues like celiac disease, Crohn's disease. I've seen, obviously, people with issues with constipation, autoimmune issues. I mean, it's just so crazy. Improving skin health, improving blood flow. I mean, there's a video I got, it's video number 68. Literally doctors There's this one doctor I remember who saw it, and they just said that's impossible. And they ended up literally doing the same study to try to prove me wrong. They ended up proving me right. And it's just so unbelievable. It's just hard to believe, truly hard to believe, because there's a lot of garbage out there. I hate to say that, but in the world of health, it's insane. If you guys notice, I only support like, 4 or 5 products. Like, I don't support a ton of stuff. I only share what I actually use myself. I've turned down a lot of companies. I've turned down a lot of money. And because I will not support products that I think are just garbage, don't really have any benefit, it's just about making money, and I don't ever want to lead my viewers down the wrong path of health. It's just not going to happen. It's got to be a good product, and that's just the way it is. And I don't have a ton of them. I got the carbon distiller. You got to clean your water. The hydrogen machine is just too impressive. The hydrogen is just too impressive. So good for your health. Vacuum blender. I mean, I make smoothies, so it's really cool. You don't have to have that one, but I really obviously like that a lot. And then of course the purine powder. That's just nutrients. That's all it is, but it's a high quality nutrient. There's not a ton of stuff, and a lot of YouTubers will promote, I'm not kidding you, I've seen people promote 100, 200, 300 products. It's insane. Their whole website's covered with products. I don't do that. I know people, this is so sad. I know a lot of other YouTubers. I know guys who literally promote products that they know are bad for you. And I'm thinking, this is insane. Do you not care about your viewers? They don't care. And they seem like really nice people. And it's just so disappointing for me. That people apparently don't appear to have a conscience. And I mean, it's fine. It's their life, and I'm sure they'll deal with it someday, probably when they cross over to the other side. But I don't understand why would you have a health channel and then promote stuff that's not good for the health? I don't know. I'm gonna take something though. This is good for the liver. So I'm gonna take some of this right now, actually. And I'm gonna grab, sometimes, actually someone gave me this product, so I'm just gonna use it. It's just a cod liver oil pill. Yeah, it's got some healthy fats. And I don't mind those at all. But I'm gonna be taking Tutka. If you guys have ever seen this. Good for the liver. I take it every once in a while. Oh, what's that? Oh, hemp heart. Hemp heart. Yeah, this has been amazing. The hydrogen is really good for the liver too. And I take this every once in a while. I just kind of found them. I had extra ones. Breeze of Peace says, I'm starting to research hydrogen after a long break from using it. Grateful that I've come across you that seems to know the best way to get and create it. Looking forward to using the Lourdes one. Oh, it's gonna be such a difference. I mean, it's one of the things that I'm actually extremely not only sad about. I've learned throughout the years, in my opinion, I mean, the world is so corrupt, and these health product industry has just gotten, in my opinion, totally out of control. And the hydrogen one is no different. Nobody seems to care about doing it right as much as they care about just selling something. And yeah, it's more expensive to do it right, but I mean, it's important to do it right if you're trying to improve your health. But let's see here. Breeze Peace says, I know that you said that all hydrogen tablets are not good, but I gotta share that around 10 years ago, I did use a product by Dr. Flanagan. Yes, I know Dr. Flanagan's product. So first of all, Dr. Flanagan's product is not actually hydrogen, okay? I've seen it lab tested. It's not producing hydrogen. The interesting thing about Dr. Flanagan's product is the Mega Hydrate product, and I know about it and I have used it. He was actually kind of on the right track as far as the way he was thinking about it, but he didn't actually go about it the proper way. And that's what's going on a lot in the hydrogen industry. People think that you create a chemical reaction with a tablet or something. What people have to understand about health is you have to purify the body. I've seen the lab test of the hydrogen pills. And by the way, they are all created pretty much the same way. And they're using specifically metallic magnesium. I'll just say it appears that that's what they're using, just in case I'm wrong. But I'm pretty confident on that. So it's all about a chemical reaction. And yes, it can produce some hydrogen, but you can produce hydrogen, you know, it's not that hard to produce it, is that you need it really clean. I mean, it's a difference between medical grade, even like medical grade oxygen, which is another type of gas, and hydrogen, which is another type of gas. And in oxygen, you go to a hospital, they have medical grade oxygen. You go to a welding center, it's not medical grade oxygen. And the difference is contaminants. You do not want to be inhaling gases that are not absolutely pure. It's, in my personal opinion, like pure stupidity. I mean, you don't want to do that if you're trying to improve your health. It could be so detrimental to your health. It's again, I don't think people realize that. And so Dr. Flanagan's product, I hate to say this, I'm not that impressed. Certainly not medically approved. It'll probably never be medically approved. There's not, you know, thousands of studies showing that, you know, it has medical efficacy. It's just a little product that, you know, again, they love selling cheap products. This is how people make a lot of money. And I hate to say it, but he was kind of on the right track though. It's just not, in the end, the right way to go about it, in my opinion. Net Edit says, I've watched you before, and if you don't mind me asking, why do you have the oxygen tube? This is not an oxygen tube. This is actually pure hydrogen gas, molecular hydrogen, the one that all the medical data is based on. I'm inhaling it right now as I eat. And I do that for many reasons. One, hydrogen appears to open up what's called ghost vessels. So basically, hydrogen appears to be pushing the nutrients, because remember, I'm getting all these nutrients, and they get carried through your blood, and you need good absorption. Everything's about absorption of these nutrients. I don't want to be deficient in anything. That's actually the goal. It's a very simple goal. Almost everybody in the United States, for example, is deficient in something. It's nuts. Almost nobody has their deficiencies. It's very uncommon. And by the way, thanks for the thumbs up. I saw there's a few there. And that's why when the last blood test I had, when the doctor saw the results, they couldn't believe it. I mean, they literally called me. And when she called me and said, I've been doing this for decades. I've never seen blood like yours. She goes, you don't have deficiencies. How are you achieving this? Of course, she was really shocked when she found out, quote unquote, the diet I follow, because she just couldn't believe it. She thought it was impossible to do. I don't think it's impossible. And so the simple fact is, this is not oxygen. We already have oxygen in our atmosphere. I'm already breathing in, you know, roughly 20% oxygen. That's just what everybody's breathing. This is pure hydrogen to offset, again, to move the blood, open up these ghost vessels, get all this proper nutrients being carried throughout my body, better nutrient absorption, more antioxidants in my body to offset any oxidation so everything's running through smoothly. And a lot of people don't know there's research that shows that with every single meal you eat, it actually accelerates aging. The most recent research actually shows, it was really amazing, and it's really, really new, and it was super expensive. And it was research done by, I think it was Harvard. Anyway, they were testing the lengths of telomeres. They were basically seeing how much food causes you to age, and they discovered that meat accelerates aging quite a bit more than fruits or vegetables and things of this nature. It was a really big deal, really big deal. Not to say that meat doesn't have nutrients, by the way. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not even against it. I'm just saying that that's the data. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question, Edits. If it does or doesn't, let me know. Breeze of Peace says, I did feel quite a difference using it though. Maybe something else in it also. Not really. I mean, it just has, it has the negative ions. So it's almost like a negative ORP or like an antioxidant. type of thing. Always remember this, and because I think it's important. There is clearly data on the placebo effect. So we think we're doing something and it's doing us good. I mean, I actually know of machines out there that are literally so toxic, and I'm not going to name them, but I will say that they use a chemical. They use actually something called sodium hydroxide, which is lye, And I know, because I've talked to people who are like whistleblowers, and they know that this quote unquote terrible gas is being inhaled by people. And people are saying, I feel great. This is the greatest machine ever, because it happens to have some hydrogen. And again, the placebo effect is a very powerful one. I'm not saying that that's necessarily what is happening, but I will say this. Check your blood pressure if you have high blood pressure. Check your blood sugar levels if you have diabetes. Check your cholesterol levels if you have, elevated cholesterol levels. Check whatever it is that you can measure, and go ahead and take the mega hydrate and see if it brings down your blood glucose. See if it brings down your blood pressure. See if it makes inflammation markers go away so that your arthritis is gone. Check to see if your heart ends up working better. I mean, I honestly kind of doubt that you're going to see almost any change biologically. And I'm not trying to like poo-poo anything. I'm just very strict when it comes to data-driven things that will actually work for people. My biggest concern too with a lot of products is the byproduct, the things that I find in them. That's the reason that I won't take like the hydrogen pills when I saw what was in them on the lab test. Like, why would I put this in my body? I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm trying to get better, not make myself sick. But let's see here. I'm going to look up something here. Let's see if I can find anything. Let's see here. The other thing that, drinking this much fiber and whatnot is also helps the body detox a lot too. Hydrogen appears to do the same thing too. Let's see. I'm always concerned of like heavy metals and stuff. I see it way too often. Let's see here. And people always want to detox, and you'd be surprised. Fiber's one of the easiest things you can do that helps detox. And clean water with hydrogen, in my opinion, is pretty much that easy. Pretty much, okay. No, I wasn't able to find anything I was particularly looking for. Let's see, no, I guess not much. Oh well, toxic byproducts. Oh. Yeah, well, if you really want to see, I think I did see a lab test the mega hydrate actually for hydrogen, because a lot of people wanted to start saying it made hydrogen, and it made 0 hydrogen, which is kind of wild. I thought it would maybe make a tiny bit. No, not really. But does it have maybe some little bit of benefit? Maybe. I'd be more concerned about how it's made and byproducts. Let's see. Breeze of Peace says, have people experienced like a detox reaction, feeling worse initially when using hydrogen? Does it support detox and removing heavy metals? Yeah, it appears to. And also, like I said, just smoothies. You'd be surprised what fiber can do. It's super magical. The data does appear to suggest that hydrogen does help detox and turn on detox pathways, and really be pretty magical for that. And pulling out, heavy metals. I think fiber is really good for that too. But there's been very few people throughout the years, and when I say few, I think it's like 3 in the last decade or so, that got sick, and not really crazy sick, but a little sick from the hydrogen. And that was apparently, these people were people who had used drugs for a very long time, decades, tons of pharmaceutical medicines. I mean, just when I say tons, like every single day, a lot of pharmaceutical pills, and did not live a very healthy lifestyle. Also lots of alcohol, just a lot of stuff in their body. And when they used it, they got a little sick and they got very little, like mild headache. And I believe it lasted for like 3 days. And then eventually it tapered off, went away, and then they started feeling really, really good. So that's about the extent of anything I've ever seen. Now, making hydrogen wrong, I've seen some crazy things, but that I don't think had anything to do with the hydrogen detoxing. It had to do, I think, with the, in my opinion, toxicity of the hydrogen that was being made. Or more, not so much the hydrogen, it's the byproducts that come with the hydrogen with the way that they're making it. And that was, yeah, in my opinion, not good. I've seen way too many of those, and those sadden me a lot. That's why, because that's the whole reason, you know, doing this is not to, again, make people sick. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more smoothie. I'll answer your last questions, and then I'm gonna get going. All right, guys? Got a lot of stuff to do today. Smoothie was actually a little thick. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. Of course, hydrogen water is what I'm putting in there. And mix it a little bit. Sorry it's not on camera, guys. There we go. Much better. Yeah, that was pretty thick. Okay. All right, like I said, just a few more minutes. And I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna put a few more hemp hearts on here. Do you put anything else in your water like sea salt or mineral drops? You know, I used to. You still can if anybody would want to. I'll show you what I do here. I have done a video on it before. And here's the deal. I started putting the drops originally in my water. But then, what I actually ended up doing was just, I don't know, it just made sense to me. So what I started doing is I started putting the drops, instead of in the water, I'll put like literally like 1 or 2 drops in a gallon. That's it. Minerals. But I started putting them in my smoothie. And the reason I did that originally was because I was visualizing, and I know that the food is what has minerals, and there's a difference between organic and inorganic minerals. The minerals that come from your food, which is apparently the main source where you're actually supposed to get them. So you're supposed to be, quote unquote, getting, I don't know, roughly 80% of your minerals from your food. And they're organic in form. Like, for example, if you need iron in your body, you're not gonna take a piece of metal and suck on a piece of iron. It's toxic, actually. But when the plants go through the process of photosynthesis and are able to pull up minerals and convert them to organic minerals in the food. And what I ended up doing, so I was putting the minerals in the food thinking that maybe the food is deficient, and they'll work together with the fiber, the other minerals, the hydrogen. I just kind of, that's what I envisioned. I've been doing that for quite a few years. And a study came out months ago, by the way, where they did just that. I couldn't believe it. A lot of the stuff that I put out, there ends up being a study either months or years later. It's almost like somebody's watching my channel or something. It was so wild. What was more wild was the results. Putting the minerals with the fiber from the food, the results were mind-boggling. They did not expect this. The bones of the body started to rebuild. You get so much absorption with the fiber and the minerals. Salt is not something that I think is actually very good for you. You're looking for the minerals more than the salt. Like this right here removes like 99% of the salt. It removes almost all the salt, but keeps the rich minerals. Because salt like hardens arteries, and there's clear evidence, by the way. So clear scientific data that salt is not very good for you, whether it's bad for the heart, strokes, It's just not really that good. And a lot of the salts that are used, like Himalayan salt, for example, and these type of salts, actually have a very low content of minerals, even though they have them, but a much higher content of salt. So I focus more on the minerals, and I try to get most of them from my food. And then this is a product that I use. It's actually very inexpensive. This one has more salt content in it. And that's more for like an electrolyte, because if you're an athlete and you're sweating a lot and whatnot. So that's how I go about it. Hayden says, would you upgrade your Hydrofix if you have one from 2022? I imagine not, but would like your thoughts. It depends, Hayden. Now, if money's not a huge issue, I would absolutely upgrade. I mean, the new one has a new technology, and I'm gonna be releasing the lab report, the actual footage from the lab, because it's unbelievable. I mean, it's doing something that is technically not supposed to be possible in the world of hydrogen. And so they're like double structuring it. They have this very high-tech new membrane. The new machine actually is supposed to last even longer than the original machines. And the original machines are super reliable. I never had one break down. They're already really, really great. But if finances are tight, then yeah, I think the 2022 is still a super good machine. So, I mean, this one right here is a 22, the one I'm inhaling from. I think it is. It might be a 21, something like that. It's the older one. And I'm just using one for inhalation, and then I'm using the new one for the water. Hopefully that answers your questions. Let's see. Hayden says, salt crimes. Hilton Hotema has some very nice information regarding all rock salts at a cellular level. Hey, I mean, that's cool. Again, the data is just super simple. Salt is not very good for you, but minerals are very good for you. And they now are discovering that they seem to work really good with fiber. I try to put everything in this smoothie, the minerals, the vitamins, obviously the phytonutrients, antioxidants, all these different things, and just have it for breakfast. Keep it really salt, Breeze of Peace says, do you have like a recipe for your shake? Where can I find it? Just watch the video, see exactly. I mean, I literally show you exactly how I do it. And I have so many smoothie videos that you can watch. So I don't have like one recipe, though I like to put my powder in it, because the reason I put my Purium powder in it is because I know that the food will not have enough nutrients. So the powder serves almost like as a multivitamin, but from food, because the data shows that the body responds best to food and absorbs it better. It's all about absorption. And then after the powders that I put in there, then I always put the greens. I like blueberries. You don't have to put blueberries. The truth is, you can put whatever's local to you. Let's say you have some good apples near you and you want to put apples in them. I'm putting things that I find locally. The carrots, the celery, the greens, the blueberries, my powders, those are the things that I find around me. Let's see. If not, I'll gladly buy the recipe written. You don't have to buy it. It's okay. I mean, I appreciate it. It's very kind, but I'll give it to you for free. Let's see. Buy the recipe for free. And maybe, I don't know if you tried, I don't know what it was. Maybe. Some more protocols, meal ideas. Oh yeah, well, as far as protocols, that's different. I mean, the most powerful one is, I cannot emphasize this enough. Obviously, clean water and hydrogen are very powerful right there. But nutrients, because they all work synergistically. That's the thing. The water, the hydrogen, the minerals, the nutrients, they all work synergistically. In fact, if you really want to do like a more consult one-on-one breeze, you can email me if you want. My email is uprising144k. Include a phone number. As far as meal ideas, I also put out a lot of videos where I show my meals. So if you've ever seen those, they're just really quick ones. I mean, they like I said, they really involve a lot of fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans, once in a while, a little seafood, once in a while, eggs, but for the most part, the other foods that I mentioned. I have lots of videos on those. Yeah, but I always like to talk to the individual because it's always going to be a little different for each person. So, like I said, you can email me and include a phone number in there and I'll give you a call. and we can arrange something. All right, guys. Well, if anybody else has any other questions, I only got 3 thumbs up today. Wow. Thanks, guys. More than anything, I just hope you guys are grateful for the information. And more than that, I actually hope that it just helps people, you know, feel better, overcome certain health challenges that they have. It's just, I can't say enough about that. I really do sincerely want the best for everybody. I wish that the whole world was feeling super fantastic as far as their health. And I notice that a lot of people out there they just don't know, and it's okay. I understand, eating the McDonald's and all that. And some people can get away with that. I mean, honestly, like Michael Jordan, he used to eat McDonald's every single day for breakfast, apparently, for like decades. Now, granted, I don't know if you've seen him lately. If you saw his eyes are really yellow. And I think he's, unfortunately, sadly, has some health problems. And, but that's what happens. All right, guys. Well, thanks for all the thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Maybe somebody needs to tell Michael Jordan about hydrogen. All right, till next time, guys.